Welcome once again to the Cult Classics WandaVision Watch Party. I'm your host here, your pal Victor, and we're going to be doing some pre show talk here. You know, the show's going to start in like half an hour, so we'll be talking, taking questions right now during the show, and during the show, share our theories beforehand, see what we're excited about, and after we'll be like, dude, what's going on? So the way this works is on the side of the screen, there is a thing that says top chat. So if you have questions, just type them in the top chat. It'll come up here and I'll answer them. And then we'll all discuss them, in a way. We'll kind of call it the Socratic method, like, hey, what are we exciting about? And we'll be like, I don't know, let's talk about it. We got like around 5 people in here right now, and last week's big revelation, was Wanda was feeling sad, because she was sad that her brother was far, far away, and Vision was like, well, hell, I think you control everything, and it kind of seemed like her powers aren't fully hers at this moment, and the universe kind of plucked a Pietro through recasting, and we got Quicksilver from the X-Men movies who showed up and as kind of like the guest star, and we're like, hey, who's the popsicle? So that's kind of where we're at now. What we do know about this episode, I think this is going to be a Halloween episode. We do know that Vision is going to be wearing a Halloween costume of his original comic book outfit, and so is Scarlet Witch. Wanda. And apparently, from what we've seen in little spoilery clips, uh, Quicksilver is going to be wearing a version of his classic X Men and Avengers outfit as his Halloween costume. And I think there's a possibility that Agnes might get her memory back. I don't know. Let's see, Brian G is saying, when is it coming out? Well, right now it is 12:32 Mountain Time. So usually WandaVision comes on Disney Plus at about 1 a.m. Mountain Time or 1:01 a.m. Mountain Time. Somewhere in that little wiggle time. So what'll happen is when that happens, I'll click over here to Disney Plus, and then we'll start kind of hopefully watching at the same time and talk about what's going on. So, what are you guys excited about right now? Are you guys excited about seeing any more guest stars? What do you think might happen on this week? I'm all about getting feedback from you guys too, so we can kind of have fun during this watch party. It is 3:33 a.m. by me. So then by process of elimination, it'll come on at 4 a.m. for you. So yeah, it's kind of the difference of time zones. I'm guessing you're on the East Coast, maybe. Yeah, that about makes sense. But I'm excited. I really enjoy this show, and every week we have a little watch party, and it's always a little bit more fun than the last because this show's been kind of blowing our minds the last 2 weeks. So I'm hoping we get more of that. Brian G says, I'm excited to see the scene where she steals Vision's body. Yeah, I wonder if we'll actually get a full version of that. I know we saw a little bit of that in the security footage, and let's talk about that for a second. I think it's kind of telling that Sword stole Vision's body and like dismembered it. Like, are they trying to make dismember it to kind of figure out how Vision worked and make more Visions like life model decoys or something? Or are they trying to figure out how his powers work so they can kind of create weapons based on his technology, kind of like they did in the first Avengers movie, you know? Brian G says it was in the trailer as well where you saw her using her powers, and yeah. So I think we'll probably see that happen soon. Then sometimes I forget what's in all of the trailers. I have been rewatching a lot of the stuff lately though, and it's kind of interesting because a lot of people have theorized that maybe Agnes is Agatha Harkness. Uh, you know, uh, Wanda's nanny from Wundragor that helped raise her. And, for the longest time, I kind of thought, that I don't think that's true, but I might be starting to come around to that a little bit. It does seem like she's trying to placate Wanda a little bit. So even if she isn't, she might end up being, and that's what I'm kind of curious about to see if that ends up happening. Wouldn't that be interesting if this ends up being the origin for Agnes becoming kind of this important side character? And we know Tommy and Billy are also have comic book versions too. They are the Wiccan and Speed and the Young Avengers. So we might be seeing the Young Avengers kind of build up, especially since they can age up, and we know Haley Stansfield is going to be Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye show, and we know that Scott Lang's daughter is eventually going to become another young Avenger named Stature, who also has size changing powers. So I mean, with Tommy and Billy, that's four members right there. Brian G says Agnes, Agatha Harkness. Yeah, a lot of people have thrown that around. I mean, it's possible. I mean, like I said, I'm a little bit more open to it. I know in the Bewitched intro, it says Auntie Agnes, and there's a black cat, and apparently the black cat is Agatha Harkness's familiar. So I'm a little bit more open to that. But at this point, I kind of still think it might be just fan service. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited. Hopefully, we get more of that. I think before the show winds up, we'll find out. And, after this week's episode, there's only three left, so we're getting close to the end, and what's most exciting is, as soon as WandaVision ends, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to start. And that's going to be exciting too, because we just saw the trailer for that at the Super Bowl last weekend, and I think that's gonna be pretty exciting because that looks like a movie right out of the big screen. It looks really cool, and I'm excited about that. I think WandaVision is kind of like an interesting segue for us to get into Phase 4 in the first place. So you know we'll see how it all goes, and this is gonna lead into Doctor Strange too. So just drinking some water because I'm going to be talking for a minute. Um, so yeah, anybody else who's hanging out in the chat? Do you have anything they're out there excited for today? Hoping to see more Darcy and Jimmy humor. Maybe we're gonna find out more about Monica Rambeau and the photon powers. Maybe we'll find out who her friend the engineer is. I was thinking about that. I was wondering. Remember in Captain Marvel, she was really good friends with that little scroll girl. You know, so it's possible the engineer might be that scroll girl. When does the episode come out? Says Shirtmato 99. It comes out in about 22 minutes. 22 to 23 minutes on Disney Plus. Then we'll all tune in on Disney Plus and hopefully watch it together or whatever service you use to watch it on. So this is kind of like the pre-gaming, because I know people are excited to watch it. So I thought this week, rather than start it right at like 1 a.m., we would start it a little bit early and be like, all right, we're excited. We're going to talk about this show. That's kind of where I'm at. He's sitting here in my little nerdy office waiting for this show to start, which is cool. I'm all for that because, I dig talking stuff. Xavier says, do you think they brought that Quicksilver because he fits the time because X-Men and Avengers are far behind in time? So MCU Silver does not fit, but X-Men Silver does fit. I have heard this theory, and it does make sense because, in days, what was it, X-Men Apocalypse was set in the 80s, and that's when that Quicksilver's from, and Pietro was MCU Pietro is from what, the 2000s, 2000, no, 2010s, 2000s. So Wanda would have had to wait at least a couple more decades to pull a counterpart from him that fit, versus pulling Quicksilver from the 80s means that X-Men Quicksilver is kind of her only option, which is kind of clever, you know. So I wonder if a little bit if us as fans kind of overthought that more, but we should get a no prize for that because that totally makes sense, especially after they said um, only things from that time period. But it makes you wonder if she had tried to pull uh, her Quicksilver back into the 80s, would he have turned into Evan Peters? I mean, so it could work both ways. I mean, Wanda and Vision don't belong in the 80s, but it's an explanation that works. So I think the shoe fits, you know. I hope that helps answer that idea. But I think that theory works, you know. But I also think if they really wanted to get Aaron Taylor Johnson, they would have gone Aaron Taylor Johnson. This is kind of just a clever way of doing the multiverse thing, which I agree is very clever, you know. Xavier says, wasn't Transformers associated with Marvel at one point, imagining Avengers and Optimus Prime showdown? Well, to answer that, yes, at one point in the 80s, Marvel did publish a Transformers comic book. That being said, the Transformers movie rights are now owned by Paramount, so I think it's really unlikely that we'll see a Paramount Disney crossover. But you never know, crazier things have happened. Uh, Rai Ikatar says, if that's the Peter from X Men as Pietro now, then alternatively, he's got a couple of siblings back in Days of Future Past. Well, when you think about it this way, if what we're hearing is true, Wanda could have pulled, the younger clone, a copy of herself from Days of Future Past, because Pietro's sibling is little Wanda. You know, they're not twins; they're different ages. You know, so if she wanted to pull into that reality, she could have pulled out a different Wanda. You know, but in X Men, they didn't really use Wanda. She's just kind of like Quicksilver's little sister. You know, but yeah, theoretically, you know, if they wanted to pull a Wanda from the 80s, they would have been that little girl, which is kind of interesting, don't you think? I guess if they waited till the 90s, it would have been just alternate version of Wanda. Is Dark Phoenix the X-Men version of Wanda because they have similar powers? No. Dark Phoenix is Jean Grey. Uh, Wanda, right, guitar. There was another sister. It could just be that the Quicksilver's mother in that timeline had another daughter with somebody else. So, but only the little girl from Days of Future Past with red hair is Wanda in that. Guga Cardoso says, "What hours start? 15 minutes on Disney Plus." David Allen says, "Sup, man," from Texas. "What's your thoughts on Monica and her x rays?" Well, it seems to me that when they x rayed her, she is pure light and it's all white. So I think that's light emanating from her. So I think a working theory is that when Monica shot her with her powers, which come from the mind gem, and threw her through that hexagon, it might have given her superpowers. You know, since she shot through all these TV hexagon lights that they said was cosmic radiation, that's kind of like the radiation that gave the Fantastic Four their powers. So I think a combination of being blasted by the mind gem and shot through cosmic radiation gave Monica those photon powers. That's my theory. We might find out that's the case later on. She might have had them before, but if not, that seems to make perfect sense. You know, cosmic rays gave the Fantastic Four their powers. Why couldn't they give Monica photon powers? Because she's not a mutant. Rai Guitar says, "Yeah, that makes sense. It was in the Rogue Cut, most likely not canon." Yeah, the Rogue Cut isn't canon. It was hinted at the other sister was somewhat of a weirdo that bugs even little sister, but she was never shown on screen. Yeah, I'm not familiar with any other siblings that Wanda and Quicksilver have, so I'm just gonna assume that might have been some other character that Fox wanted to introduce as Quicksilver's sister, or that might have been a tangential X-Men character. But yeah, good question. I That's something I hadn't noticed. I haven't watched the Road Cut in a while. I'll have to check that out in the future. But yeah, 15 more minutes now, guys. 12:45 here. So yeah, getting closer. But exciting, no? Uh, yeah, there's a lot going on. We've got Photon, and Monica Rambeau, her relationship with Captain Marvel. You know, Guga says the Marvel show Mephisto in 6 episodes. Do you think? I have gone on record as saying I don't think Mephisto has anything to do with this show. I'm gonna stick by that. And I'm willing to be proven wrong. Hopefully they don't introduce Mephisto on the show. I think that's going to open a big bag of worms, and I think kind of if it leads into Doctor Strange, I think it'd be kind of boring because in the first Doctor Strange movie, he already fought Dormammu, and I think Mephisto is just kind of a Judeo-Christian version of Dormammu. So I'm hoping for something better than Mephisto. Um, who do you think is that actor that Paul Bettany was ecstatic to talk about in a certain interview? Right now, I'm gonna say it was probably Evan Peters, because I don't think they would be thinking multiple surprises ahead. I kind of think Evan Peters is like the big what the fuck reveal. And if any, the Luke Skywalker kind of actor, I think that seemed like that Luke Skywalker moment from The Mandalorian. I can't really think of anybody else unless Magneto were to show up at this point. And I find that I don't think Magneto's going to show up in this show. So right now I'm going to say it's Evan Peters as Quicksilver was kind of the actor that Bettany was ecstatic to talk about. I know they're going to interact a lot in this episode, so that should be fun. You know, so I don't know. That's what kind of I'm thinking. I know a lot of actors really like Evan Peters because I've never heard anything bad about them. Or I've heard a lot of good from people talking him up when they starred with him in like American Horror Story. So I think that's kind of where I'm gonna go with. That's my bet. That's my bet. But yeah, hey, do you guys have any theories who this mystery actor might be, or do you think we'll have any more mystery characters show up? I will say I do expect Doctor Strange to show up before the series is over, so that could also be it. But I think uh, I don't think Paul Bettany's worked with Benedict Cumberbatch before, so that could be it. That could be it too. That's kind of could be either one, Benedict Cumberbatch or Evan Peters. That's what I'm gonna say. If you guys think it's anybody else, Ian McKellen, I don't know. If Magneto did show up, who would you guys like to see be Magneto on the show? Would you like it to be Ian McKellen or that younger actor who plays him, whose name I can't remember. Wow, I'm like totally brain blanking. The actor who plays Magneto on Michael Fassbender. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for that, Ikatar. Yeah, I got it like right when it came out. I was like, this is yes, Michael Fassbender. Do you want it to be Michael? Do you want Michael Fassbender to play Magneto in the MCU? I think he's too young. Well, I don't know. I guess he could play Wanda's dad. I could see that happening. It's what sucks is that they've already used Mads Mikkelsen because I think Mads Mikkelsen is like the perfect Magneto. He would have been awesome. He's got the accent and everything. but they've already used him in Doctor Strange, so it sucks. Like, fuck, they can't use Mads Mikkelsen. So, yeah. I can't really think of who would be a good MCU Magneto. It'd probably have to be somebody out of the box that I'm not thinking of, you know? I mean, hopefully not Keanu Reeves or something, but like, you know, yeah, I think Mads Mikkelsen would have been awesome. I mean, like, Brad Pitt? No, he like, or George Clooney. It would have to be like somebody in that kind of age range, you know, but like important. Uh, I don't know. I remember reading that Patrick Stewart was asked to come in as Professor X or something, and he said he'd already said goodbye to playing Professor X and Logan. Otherwise, he would have been up for it. You know, I think Patrick Stewart is too old to play Professor X anymore. Like he's in his 80s. You know, you see him now. Like I saw him in that Super Bowl commercial. He's like, yeah, he's too old. I mean, not in a bad way, but realistically, maybe Jude Law could be Magneto. Jude Law could be Magneto. I could buy that if he buffed up a little bit, and I could see him as like Wanda's dad. You know, but then it's like Jude Law plays everything because he's like Dumbledore in the Harry Potter movies now. So it's just hard to find actors in that age range that I think could be kind of built enough to be Magneto and well known enough. Colin Farrell, I don't know, maybe. That's gonna be like my MacGuffin for the rest of the night. I'm like, who could play Magneto? Oh shit, you're right. Yeah, Jude Law was already in Captain Marvel, so we can't use him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Jude Law was the bad guy in Captain Marvel. I forgot about that. Ben Mendelsohn could have been Magneto if he hadn't been the Talos in Captain Marvel. He would have been a good Magneto. Um, it's like you guys are using up all the good villain actors. Who are we gonna get to be Magneto? You know, John Cena, Mark Wahlberg. Oh God, that would be awful. You know, you want to get a good actor. Not like I mean, not that wrestlers are bad actors, but I'm just saying it's like few and far between. You know, but yeah, 7 more minutes till it starts. You guys excited? Getting antsy? Uh, I'm actually stoked for Ben Mendelsohn's return. Yeah, I actually wouldn't be shocked if we saw Ben Mendelsohn show up in this show. Who do you think they will cast for the next Wolverine? I don't know. I honestly, I'm gonna throw a dark horse. Scott Eastwood would be a good Wolverine. Clint Eastwood's son. Look him up. He looks a lot like his dad, and he's young. He's had kind of a lot of bit parts and things. But he might be a good pick. If you want to grow into him, and he kind of look. Logan's always kind of looked like Clint Eastwood. Hugh Jackman kind of looks like Clint Eastwood. Uh, yeah, I think so. Uh, Ben Mendelsohn will be in the series with Sam Jackson. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Who do you guys think would be a good Wolverine? See, this is important. And this is what sucks is that Hugh Jackman was such a good Wolverine that whoever they pick you're just going to be like, "Ugh, I wish this was Hugh Jackman. You know? Especially since they're going to bring in Deadpool into the MCU. But I thought about this since Deadpool almost always wears that stupid mask. They could do like the Mandalorian and just like what's his face dude who plays Deadpool whose name I can't remember right now. He can just do the voice for Deadpool and somebody else can play him, just like they do on the Mandalorian, for Pedro Pascal. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds could just do the voice for Deadpool forever until he's like 70 and nobody would even know. Just like Pedro Pascal does the voice for the Mandalorian, and he's only in like 2 episodes of the show, basically. It's some other guy played the Mandalorian from like every other episodes. Will Deadpool be in Avengers films as he will be in the MCU? Probably. I would imagine. Like, I imagine they'll have him doing the same kind of shit they have Thor doing, where he's just kind of like a wise ass, you know? I'm sure the Deadpool movies will be rated R, but he'll just, be a wise ass and like, whenever they have X-Men or Avengers movies, The funny thing to me is if they end up doing Deadpool movies, like, Deadpool 3, like, won't it be weird that the Cable looks just like Thanos? I'd have to go with Taron Egerton as Wolverine for now, among the rumored actors. You think so? I think he's just too skinny. I mean, I like Taron Egerton, but I just, I don't know. Maybe he's blonde. Could be. You never know. I don't want to misjudge people. I mean, it's like, I've always been surprised sometimes at the people they get. Like, you wouldn't have thought, hey, Heath Ledger would have been a good Joker, and then he ended up being a great one. So go figure. But yeah, it's like, you know, I don't know. It's so weird. I'm actually just excited to have Wolverine in the MCU. So I'm not gonna trip too much. So if it's one good thing that comes out of Disney buying Fox is that they own the X-Men, then that's all good. 12:57, guys. 3 more minutes. And like I said, probably the first time I click over to Disney, it'll time out because that happened last time. Josh Brolin would be a good Old Man Logan. That's the problem, I think, is Josh Brolin would be a good everything. Josh Brolin would be a good Magneto. Brock Smith says, when does it start? 3 minutes. It starts in 3 minutes on Disney Plus. So start getting ready. I'll click over on it in a few minutes. Yeah, he'd be a good. Yeah, I think he would be. There's a lot of guys who would be good guys. But they've already played. When do you think the Fantastic Four will enter the MCU? Sooner than later. Like I said, there's already elements of the Fantastic Four in here. Like they said that the hexagon thing they're entrapped in is emitting cosmic based radiation, and that's from the Fantastic Four. So, and if it ends up giving Monica her photon powers, then Bob's your uncle. It's possible it might be the person that Monica reaches out to build that car she crashes into the hexagon. Although I think it's going to be Talos' daughter, the Skrull Girl. That's my theory. Pretty sure Spider-Man 3 will have lots of Fantastic Four Easter eggs. You never know, man. I feel like Spider-Man 3 is getting to be such an overcooked omelet. Like, it's going to, who knows what that movie's going to be about? Like, at this point, is it going to have multiverse? Is it going to have Fantastic, I want it to be a good Spider-Man movie before anything else, and hopefully it lays the groundwork for other things. I don't want it to be like Age of Ultron where it's just like barely a movie because it's laying the groundwork for so much shit, But we'll see. It's going to start in a minute, so I haven't clicked over to Disney Plus yet. I'm going to click over at about 1 o'clock or 101, so then we can kind of start watching it together, if you want to click with me. And then we'll do a little post show wrap up depending on how crazy it is. It might be a long episode, it might be a short episode. I remember last week's episode was like 41 minutes long. So you never know how long these end up being. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. You know? All right. It is 1 a.m. So I am now clicking. Everybody clicks at once, so sometimes it slows down and doesn't load right. See, right now Disney Plus is loading really slow. So please eat. Okay, guy. Some people are a little weird. All right. Episode 6 is now streaming. So I'm clicking on the big banner on Disney Plus. All right. I'm going to hit play in a second. All right. I just hit play now. And it is spinning. And all right, it's playing. So I'm going to talk during the episode. And if you guys are watching with me, feel free to watch with me. Please, Kuldeep Vanika, please stop posting garbage. All right, weirdo. We're getting the backstory from last week's episode. And there's a director of Sword, and Monica does the thing where they all train their guns on him. And now Wanda's talking about Pietro. Oh, and there it's showing the real Pietro getting killed. That's the first time they've showed real Pietro on this show. And now they are showing Evan Peters' Pietro. So I don't know. Real Pietro might show up. All right, we're getting the Marvel intro now. Marvel intro. Kind of exciting now. Okay, so this week's WandaVision intro is Malcolm in the Middle. Do you guys remember Malcolm in the Middle? That's funny. All right, the kids are still 12 or still 10. And now Agnes is in the cast. And Pietro Maximoff. No, I'm not going to increase the volume. I don't want to get demonetized. All right, Billy is dressed as Wiccan. No, it's not going to happen. Go tune into a different stream. And there's Speed wearing green. All right, and now they're Billy and Tommy are playing Dance Dance Revolution. That's funny. Of all the shows that they were going to lampoon, I would have never thought Malcolm in the Middle. All right, and now Pietro, or Quicksilver, is sleeping on the couch. And apparently Quicksilver's kind of a loser. He's sleeping till 4 in the afternoon. Oh, he just used his speed powers. All right. The thing you should know is Quicksilver or Pietro uses his speed powers like Pietro in the MCU, not like Pietro in X-Men. He does the quick flash thing. Time doesn't slow down. So that's kind of lame. And Wanda just walked down the stairs, dressed for Halloween. She's wearing the comic book Scarlet Witch costume. And now flashback of Pietro and Wanda trick or treating as kids, in a war torn Sokovia, getting fish for Halloween. All right, and Billy talks to the camera just like Malcolm. All right, and Vision is wearing the Vision comic book costume. Yeah, it just started like 5 minutes ago. Click it on. It's really good. It's Malcolm in the middle. Vision says he's dressed as a Mexican wrestler. That's really funny. But yeah, it's kind of cool seeing Vision, Wanda, and Billy dressed as their comic book versions, because Billy's dressed as Wiccan slash Asgardian, Wanda's dressed as Scarlet Witch, and Vision is dressed as the Vision. And Vision is like, he's undercover, and he's undercover neighborhood watch. He's such a square. Nice little bustiers on Wanda here. And Billy's telling us that Wanda and Vision have been fighting a lot. And Quicksilver is going to be the father figure for the night. Quicksilver doesn't have silver hair, by the way. He's got like blonde hair. Kind of funny. Yeah, there's a lot of distance between the two of them, Wanda and Vision, in this episode. Oh yeah, apparently like Pietro's just a big screw up. Now Wanda's complaining Pietro doesn't have a costume, and boom, now he's dressed as Quicksilver from the '60s Avengers comics with the big lightning bolt. Oh, and now Tommy's dressed as Quicksilver too, so he's Speed. All right, now we're on the outside. Sword is coming up on the hexagon, and they have the drone, which is still glowing from Wanda's energy. And Monica's chasing Hayward and yelling at him, like, "Why are you fucking us over?" You know. Darcy's now making fun of Hayward, how he's tuning them out. And yeah, Hayward's being kind of a dick, so that's kind of irritating. Uh, Hayward's still like, "We need to take her out now." He just wants to kill Wanda to stop the hexagon. Hayward, I think, is a moron, or he has a bigger agenda. Now Hayward's trying to get rid of Rambo. Apparently, Hayward is also sort of racist against people with superpowers. No, go find another screen. I'm not showing the screen. I'm just talking about the show. No, you want to see. If you tune in my screen, I don't stream. I don't show the screen. We just talk and talk about the show as we watch it. Ugh. This is a discussion live party, watch party, not me pointing my camera at the screen. All right, and Hayward just kicked Monica, Jimmy, and Darcy out of there. And they don't trust. They don't trust. Oh, Jimmy is now fighting the sword guys. All three of them are punching out the sword guys. Got the weapons. It's Shadow the Hedgehog. The episode's on right now. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so now they jumped the sword guys and took their outfits so they can either try to get into the hex or stay on site. All right, now we're back in the hex and everyone is partying or dressed as Halloween costumes. I'm looking for any like Easter eggs. There's a guy with a Freddy jacket and a Jason mask. Uh, so now Wanda's not sure if Pietro is Pietro because he looks different. So she's asking questions about his past. And she's like, I know I look different. And then she's saying, why do you look different? And it's like, well, I just do. All right, Herb is dressed as Frankenstein. Just so you know, I'm not helping people who are pirating this show. I want to talk about the show, okay? Thanks a lot. All right. I'm trying to be nice about it, but like, I want to talk about the show with people who are watching the show. All right, and Pietro's grabbing pumpkins and doing pranks on everybody with his powers. It looks cool. I actually dig the effect. I hope you guys are watching this with me and are enjoying it too. I please, Venkatesh. This is. Don't ask me any more questions. Can you like not bug me anymore? Thanks. All right. Now Vision is wandering around the neighborhood, checking stuff out. I'm still looking to see if there's any Easter eggs in the costumes. All right, he's seeing a girl trying to hang up a ghost, and she's like on a deja vu loop, just like. So some of the people in town are, and she's crying, so she's clearly in pain. So that's sad. Here's the commercial. It's like a claymation commercial, and like a shark just popped up. This kid's starving, and the shark gives him yo magic, like yo play. And he's slowly dying and starving to death. And he dies and rots. Now he's a dead guy with some yogurt. Yo magic, the snack for survivors. All right, there's a theater and it's playing The Incredibles and The Parent Trap. Both Disney movies. Okay, so Pietro has MCU Pietro's memories. He remembers dying, and after that, he just remembers being called to this town because Wanda needs him. So she resurrected him just like Vision, but he looks like Evan Peters. So go figure. All right, and now Tommy has Quicksilver's speed powers. So now Billy and Tommy both have powers. That's kind of crazy. All right, and Monica, Darcy, and Jimmy just broke into this space station, and not the space station, the monitoring station, and they're looking at Pietro. And Darcy's hacking into the feed, and now they can they she did some hacking stuff, so now they can get into Hayward's devices and find out what he's doing. Okay, so now we know all Hayward cares about is getting Vision back, because he can look into the hex and see the vibranium degradation. So he's keeping everybody in the dark. So in case you're wondering, Hayward is the bad guy. So yeah, largely it's kind of what we thought. All Hayward cares about is getting Vision back as an asset to make weapons from. And the closer that the Vision gets to the Ellis Avenue, the more people are just kind of like bad NPCs. They're kind of just like frozen and not doing anything. And Vision's trying to talk to people and they're just kind of like broken. They don't respond or anything. The electricity is just like. Zzz. And at the end of where they can go, there's a kind of just like a graveyard, like of light up, Halloween decorations. This must be an easy episode for Paul Bettany because all he's basically doing is wearing this costume and has his face painted red. I say that and then he just turns into Vision. And now Vision's flying. He's kind of just surveilling the town and the boundaries. And see, he still has the mind gem. That's what's tripping me out. So they found a car that looks like it's trying to leave. It's Agnes. Agnes was trying to leave town. And Agnes is dressed like a witch, which is another Agatha Harkness reference. Uh-oh. So he just woke her up. He just woke Agnes up. So Agnes recognizes Vision as Vision now that she doesn't remember. He doesn't remember the Avengers. Agnes thinks she might be dead, and she tells Vision he's dead. She keeps screaming that he's dead. Rush God, please increase light so you can see in your glasses. Yeah, fuck you, Rush God. All right. Yeah, if you guys aren't here to talk about the show or aren't watching the show, then don't use the chat function. Thank you. All right. So we know Agnes's real name is Agnes, and he just turned off her perception of reality, and now she's back to being a character. And Vision knows that he's dead in the real world, and yep, Alice Avenue is the end of of the reach of Wanda's powers. Let's see if Vision can make it outside of the hexagon. Here's the moment of truth. He can get past Alice Avenue, but will he die or start rotting? Oh, you can see the hex. Darcy's looking at Monica's medical files. Her guy. So the engineer is a guy. The engineer is a guy. All right, there's the proof. Going through the hex, it has rewritten her genetic code. So that's what, if she gets powers, that's what did it. Jimmy and Monica are going to try to get back into the hex. Darcy's going to stay behind and try to finish hacking Hayward's computer to see what's going on. I want one of those sword capes they're wearing. All right, we're back in the Halloween simulation world, whatnot. Wanda and Quicksilver are walking around. It's like a hay maze. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Basically, MCU Pietro is in X-Men Pietro's body. Oh, Quicksilver just pointed out there haven't been any kids, and they were talking about it last episode. And now there's kids everywhere. Where did all these kids come from? Quicksilver is shocked at how powerful Wanda is and trying to figure out, how's this going on? It's like, hey, I'm not a stranger, you're your husband. I'm your brother. You can talk to me. How did your powers get so strong? And she doesn't know. And Wanda says, basically, her sadness amplifies her powers. Feeling so alone made her go deep to herself. Oh, gross. She just looked at Quicksilver and he was a zombie corpse with the bullet wounds that he had in Avengers, but he was still MCU or X-Men Pietro. All right, so Darcy opened the last file. It's something called Cataract. We don't know exactly what it is. Looks like Vision's about to break through the hex or die. We don't know. One of those things might just happen. And Vision's wearing a muscle suit, kind of like the one Henry Cavill wears. Usually they smoothed it out a bit in the Avengers movies. Let's see if he can make it through. He's making it through. They're pulling out guns. Oh, yep, Vision made it out of the hex. Oh shit, it's ripping him apart. Oh, here we go. Wiccan can sense that Vision is having issues. Hey, I'm here to talk about the show. You want to be cheap, then deal with that on your own time. There's plenty of other streams, guys. Yep. Vision is being torn apart, trying to leave the hex. He's signaling a sword to help them. Alright, so now for sure we know that Vision cannot exist outside of the hex. Oof, she just blasted Pietro and said, it's not like your dead husband can die twice. Yeah, Billy's developing his Wiccan powers. Alright, Wanda's using her powers. She just froze everyone. something's going on with the hex. The hex is expanding to kind of try to save Vision. I think Darcy's gonna get sucked into the hex. All right, and the hex is expanding, saved Vision, and Darcy just got hit by the hex. We don't know if Darcy's dead now. Oh, if you get sucked into the hex, you just become a character. So we don't know what's happened to Darcy yet. Yeah, she's just sucking all of the sword guys into the hex to stop them from bothering her. The Westview sign changed. Oh, that's cool. Car lot changed. They're just gonna keep chasing you guys. I think Hayward's an asshole. So yeah, we also know that Wanda's powers are triggered by grief. And she's like, "Can anyone read me? Can anyone read me?" And that's it. That's the end of the episode. So yeah, that was kind of crazy. Um, you know, man, there's a lot to say there, but damn, I enjoyed that. I thought that was really good. Um, well, shoot, guys, if you have any questions, I will chat a little bit. If not, I think I might cut it off early, thanks to the piracy people kind of ruining the mood of the night. Unfortunately, like seriously, guys, that was shitty. Um, if I tell you once, I'm not gonna do anything about like helping you to see it, then you should just go jump to a different stream, because that's not cool at all. You know, some people just want to watch a TV show and talk to other people who are watching the TV show at the same time. But guess what? I found out now you can remove people. So next time, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have to kick people out. All right, and now we got the fake Malcolm in the Middle situation happening here, which is I liked the fake Malcolm in the Middle theme. I thought that was fun. You know, it's filmed in Georgia. That was cute. Yeah, I liked all the production design on this episode. That was really good. You know, and Marvel does a great job on these shows, especially on the production end. I mean, I don't know that this episode was as great as last week's. This episode is clearly going to be just kind of like the filler in between last week's great episode and probably next week's episode, which is going to be really cool. So I'm kind of excited about that. So that was a lot of fun. All right. And anybody have any questions who's watching the show that you want to talk about? Any ideas, like excitement about this episode? It was cool seeing Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, bond more, you know. So I dug that. And for the most part, I liked seeing this was a Billy and Tommy kind of episode because we saw Billy get, you know, as Wiccan kind of get Scarlet Witch's powers, and then we also saw Tommy as Speed get Quicksilver's powers. So yeah, it's kind of taking Billy's taking it. Magneto was not in it. It was this was just kind of we found out that Vision can't leave the hex or he'll die, you know, and then it was a lot about Billy and Tommy's power set and how you know whatchamacallit they're you know Tommy developed Quicksilver speed and Billy developed Scarlet Witch's which is Scarlet Witch's mental powers. I had to put this asshole on timeout because he's making this not fun for me. So that sucked. Madness says, I need who's literally recast MCU Pietro or he has ATJ memories. How else would X Men Pietro have memories? Yeah, he's MCU Pietro with X Men Pietro's body. So that's cool. That's an interesting way of doing it. I dug that. This is a good show. This episode was a lot of fun. I don't know. Did you guys enjoy it? Yeah, if you guys want to chat or ask some questions, that's what's going to keep me doing the stream because the guys talking about piracy really kind of ruined my mood. So I'm trying to like stay into it. I just said that last week. No one believed me, and it turned out you were right. We don't have all the answers. All we want to do is just keep it, you know, keep the discussion going, and hopefully, you know, we'll get some things right. But that's I'll totally give you points on that one. Madness Arcade. I'm glad you got that right. Um, I also no longer believe that Agnes is Agatha Harkness after this episode. So you know, she's like, "Oh, you're an Avenger. You're here to help us." And I think she was a bigger, you know, I think Agnes's character was an homage to Agatha Harkness, but it turns out she really wasn't, you know. So that's kind of fun, you know, at least we're learning some things. The one thing I think we really learned this episode is that Hayward is a fucking moron. Such a dumbass. I mean, really. And yeah, for the most part, I'm just I'm pretty happy that you know we're seeing come together a little bit more. You know, it'll be interesting to see Darcy inside of Westview next week. So I think next week will be the 2000s sitcom. So I'm guessing that'll probably be Modern Family or The Office. I wasn't expecting the 90s one to be you know Malcolm in the Middle. So that was kind of funny. Darcy becomes Robocar. She was fused to the car, so you never know. I think we're gonna have a lot of talking heads next week. You know, like I really don't know how I got stuck here, kind of thing. I don't know. Did you guys have fun watching it? The episode, you know, I thought it was cool. You know, I'll probably do a little recap video in a few minutes, in a little bit, once this wraps up. But I thought that was pretty good. You know, I liked all the. I was hoping there would be more like guys in the background trick or treating that looked more like, you know, classic Marvel or X-Men characters or something. I think that would have been cool. Do you think that Wanda killed Pietro with that blast, or just kind of, was kind of punch in the face? I mean, that was funny that we've seen twice where Wanda's not paying attention. The Vision looked like a zombie, and Pietro looked like a zombie. Like, ugh. She pulled a dead Pietro out, and it turned into X-Men Pietro, but he's still not alive by her powers. Kind of interesting. I don't know. I had a lot of fun, but yeah, I mean, we'll tune in next week. We'll do it again next week. The one thing, at least, I learned how to I learned how to ban people who were being spammers. So next week, if people start asking for illegal streams or incessantly bothering me to turn the camera around, then I can just ban them. So that'll make it more fun for me next week. I'm sorry that chilled my mood a little bit, because it was just like I kept telling them to chill out and chill out and chill out, and they wouldn't do it. And that was really not cool. But I hope, it was nice seeing, guys like Madness, and Richard too was in here for a minute, but he missed the episode. So I guess we'll end up talking, hopefully. Rush God, no, I didn't ban you because you didn't kept spamming. So you're okay for now. Don't do it, or I'll just ban you like I did Venkatesh, okay? Like, if I'm doing a live stream, it's because I want to talk to people. It's not because I want to waste my, time aiming my phone at a TV show and get my YouTube channel banned. That's fucking bullshit. You know? All right, I appreciate that. That's why, as long as we can talk and be cool, then I don't have a problem. It's when somebody keeps doing it and doing it and doing it and not listening that it makes it not fun to do this. And then why would I do it? Like, I want to talk to people. I don't want to watch the stupid show. Like, if you wait an hour, it'll be up on fucking Pornhub or any other website in 5 seconds. Anyway, I'm getting aggro. So I'll stop. And the stream's kind of, you know, cut, dialing down a little bit. So next week will be a lot more fun, I think. And I'll do it again, and then we'll have fun, and then I'm sure there'll be a lot more cool stuff going on the show, and we'll be more excited to talk about it at the end. But what I'll end up doing is I'll do a recap video real quick once I turn this off, and talk about what I kind of think is cool. And if you guys dig it, you can leave some comments like, yeah, no, I didn't think about that, or did you miss this? Because I always think that kind of stuff is fun. So yeah, I'll do a quick recap video, and that'll be cool. And then we'll chat some more next week when we do our watch party for episode 7. So, and I'm gonna do a watch party for episode 7. I was gonna go to a screening of the Forever Purge, but I know I'll be too tired to watch WandaVision after that. So I'm gonna blow off that screening, since I can't really talk about it anyway. It's gonna be an NDA thing. And I've seen way too many movies early now that I can't talk about, that it's kind of getting to not be fun. So in the meantime, I'll see you guys next week, and I hope you guys had fun. I had fun. And yeah, thanks for tuning in to our WandaVision watch party and reactions. Thanks, guys, and I always appreciate it, and I hope you had fun. All right, talk to you soon.